We're going to come talk to you guys tonight more about the Icon and Snap-on debate. I know I never really showed you any kind of Icon wrenches or anything like that. I only own maybe 2 sets of Icon wrenches, and that is the ratcheting wrenches with the anti-slip. And those are the extra long, or they're moderately longer than a normal wrench. So those are the Icon wrenches I have. Would I tell anybody not to go buy an Icon wrench? Absolutely not. My attitude has always been, buy what you need, buy what you want, buy what you can afford, and buy what makes you money. There's always opportunity to buy used wrenches as far as Snap-on. There's always the option of making payments on the truck. So, I mean, if anybody wants a quality wrench, the opportunity is there. I don't push that on anybody. That's just my opinion. But when I got started in the business, there was no other option. Your only option was to go over to Napa, your local parts store, and buy SK or buy Napa, Carlisle, or SK. I believe I already said SK, but the Craftsman and everything else. There really was no in between. You had your Matco, your Mack trucks, and your Snap-on truck. So those were your options. And that's the reason why I have so many Snap-on tools. That, and I still buy them to this day. If I see a deal that I can buy Snap-on tools for 50 cents on the dollar, I'm going to buy them if it's something I want or something I need or something I plan on replacing. As I do have a set of Icon ratcheting Kobo wrenches. I have recently bought a set of Snap-on ones for 50 cents on the dollar, and I'm going to replace them, and I will sell the other wrenches or find somebody that needs them, or if somebody's going to get a deal on them. That's just the way it works. But more about this whole debate and why I have so many wrenches, and a few of the wrenches that I have are just oddballs in my toolbox, and I thought I'd share them with you. This one right here is a 13 millimeter. I was driving down the road on a test drive, and this thing was just laying in the middle of the road. So a few local shops I stopped at or whatever that I knew, they said it wasn't theirs. I'm not going to throw this away. Obviously, I could probably get this warranted if I wanted to. There's rust on the end where the chrome's coming off, and that would be considered a manufacturer's defect. Could it be claimed as abuse too? Yes, if it was left out in the weather, but they don't really push those kinds of, issues. If you got a guy coming to your shop, he's going to try to, pacify you in any way that he can. He's going to try to make you happy. He wants you to buy tools. So yes, I could warranty this wrench. Is just I've held on to it, and I have this set in my box already. And if I ever lost 13, I have an extra one here. So that's the reason why I've held on to it so long. Move on to this 14 here. This is an older wrench. This is a Snap-on. Most of my wrenches have the newer logo on them. I lost my 14 and couldn't find it. Looked around the shop forever, looked in cars, could never find it. So I got on eBay and I bought this guy's 14 millimeter, put it in the set. It did not match. It always bugged me. But eventually it showed up. So I have this extra 14 millimeter wrench in my box, and if I needed a wrench to modify or whatever, then I have it. Not that I'm going to do it to this 14 millimeter Snap-on, but I do have 14 if I ever lose one. So that's how I acquired this particular one. This right here is another 9/16 wrench. It's a Snap-on wrench. This is actually a spline wrench. I bought some used wrenches, and these are like, these aren't midget wrenches, but these are what Snap-on considers their short wrenches. And I bought these used. I got them real reasonable. It was a real good deal, so I bought them. They were spline. I don't use that much standard, but when you need them, you do need them. I mean, we still have small block Chevys and old Vortec engines and stuff that still come in the shop every now and then. So when I bought the set, it had a duplicate 9/16 with it, so I have 2 of these guys. That's how I acquired this one. Here's a 5/8, same story. This one I believe I purchased though from the Snap-on man. It's a 5/8. lost my 5/8 wrench and ended up buying one. You can see that I got my use out of it before the other one came back into the shop, but I end up having another 5/8 wrench. So, that's good for the Snap-on, bad for me, but, when you need your tools, you need your tools. This one is an 18 millimeter. And I bought a U set, I believe from the Snap-on man at the particular time. And it had a number of Mix Max wrenches. Some of them had the new logo on it, some had the old logo on it. And these are obviously a little thinner, but they haven't changed in so long. And it just bugged me. I ended up buying the individual sets and or individual wrenches to complete the set. So I held on to the wrench. This is a nice wrench to have. It doesn't worry me that if I wanted to use this to smack it with a hammer or something like that, or get up in a tight spot. And another reason I've kept these is because these are actually thinner than the newer ones. Let's see if this 5/8. This 5/8 is pretty close. But you can see this 5/8, this 18 millimeter, almost the same thickness. And you would think this 18 millimeter would be thicker. So that's another reason I keep them, is these fit in tighter areas as well. And I found that out on a few Hondas and stuff like that, and GMs. So I hang on to them. These just sit in one of my drawers, and I use a brake pad box, cardboard box, and I have a number of sockets and miscellaneous stuff that I have set in them. I even have punches in those boxes if you're watching my other videos. So as I damage punches and buy newer sets, I just throw all those punches in there. And I have ones for sockets. I have a drawer just dedicated to older tools, used tools, things I've lost, things I found in cars, stuff of that nature. But we'll move on to the next wrench. This is a 5/8 right here, and I believe this one I got from my father. He acquired some tools, had some Snap-on tools in it, and this is what he gave me. So, like I said, I just hang on to these. If I do ever need to modify a wrench, even though I don't plan on doing it with a Snap-on wrench, or if I need to grind this down or whatever it may be, or I lose a wrench, I have it. Eventually, I may sell some of these. Either way, I'm going to recoup my money, because I don't have a whole lot of money into these secondhand ones. Here's another short wrench. This is a 5/8. This is another duplicate. It came in the set with the spline ones. It's got a little bit of rust on it. I hang on to these. Like I said, if I ever lose one out of the set, I have one to replace it. I have one to modify. I have one to do whatever I want with. Like I said, maybe even eventually sell it and recoup some of my money. This is a 14. This is another one my father gave me. It just comes in some miscellaneous tools that he had bought, and this is what he gave me. Like I said, it's just nice to have additional wrenches sometimes. Sometimes these are just thinner than other ones. They come in handy. You lose a wrench, like I said, it's nice to not have to go out and buy one or anything of that nature. And it may not look pretty. It may not, match the set or whatever, but you have one. And last but not least is, I believe this is 11 millimeter. Yeah, it's 11 millimeter. Just hard to read that. But this is an older wrench as well. This is another one that I believe I got from my father. This came with some miscellaneous tools that I got, and he gave me a number of other wrenches. There's Mac wrenches in that set, and SK wrenches and other things that I grabbed out of there just to have, just in case I needed to replace anything, or just to have in general. So like I said, I've held over time, and as my dad's passed away, some of them are sentimental, some of them are just are there to replace other wrenches, so to speak. They're just good to have, like I said. And the other reason I keep these is these wrenches haven't changed. I mean, we got a 5/8 here and a, what was it, 14, 9/16, an 18. There's a 5/8. Here's the old logo, and here's the new logo. These are both 5/8 wrenches. You see that the labeling is larger on both ends. It's only on one end on this one. You see this wrench is just a little bit thicker, and they've gotten thicker over the years, even with the flank drive. I think you can even see that on the box down there. But the biggest thing is they just haven't changed. I'm going to say this wrench right here with the old logo and the writing on it's probably from late 70s to early 80s. You see this one somewhere from between the 90s probably or later. I don't know how to read the date code on these or anything else, but I do know this wrench is probably from the 90s, maybe early 2000s. And there is no difference in that wrench. You could buy a wrench off the truck today, and it is the same. So that is my reasoning behind buying Snap-on tools. Is a lot of these tools haven't changed in the last 50 years, and the 100+ years they've been in business. I mean, some of these tools date all the way back to the 60s and 70s, with their pullers and everything else, and they just haven't changed. I mean, that's my reasoning for buying them. It's not the best metal. It's not because they're made in the USA. It's because they provide a quality tool, and they've been in business so long that I don't have to worry about warranty. I don't have to worry about, what am I going to do after they go out of business or anything like that. So that's my beef with the whole Icon debate and everything else. I don't like paying the ridiculous amount of money they want for Snap-on tools. But at the same time, for me, it's been money in the bank. I bought most of my Snap-on tools during the 90s and 2000s. So even if I sold my tools for 50 cents on the dollar right now, I'd probably be selling them for what I paid for them. So, I mean, it's an investment. But I just want to touch base on that with everybody with some of these old wrenches I had and kind of explain the story behind them, the history, and why I have them. I do have other ones, like I said. I got miscellaneous sockets and old Craftsman sockets, old Taiwanese sockets, and things I found in cars, and just a whole assortment of stuff. And like I told you guys in my last video, I'm a tool whore, so I hoard tools, even though these don't get no use or anything. And even some of my older tools with the older logo on them, I don't take them to work. I use most of my new tools at work. I just I like new things, just like I said, guys like stereos and people like cars, gotta have the latest and the greatest. So that's my OCD thing. But I just wanted to share a little bit of history with you guys about these wrenches right here, and just a little more discussion on the Icon debate. A lot of us old timers just didn't have these opportunities as far as Taiwanese wrenches at this high caliper quality that they're offering right now. They're still not up to par with Snap-on, but they're pretty darn close. And if you watch the Torque Test channel or anything else, you know that the Craftsman wrenches have beat out the Snap-on wrench. So I mean, it's not anymore. It's not the best steel. It's not because it's made in the USA or anything, because that Craftsman name is no longer associated with the US. Everything's made over in Taiwan. It's with the Black & Decker name. So being a Craftsman and all that other stuff, and warranty's so hard to come by. You walk in the store, they want the whole set back. It's such a pain in the butt with a Craftsman name, but for $79, a Taiwanese wrench is beating out these Snap-ons. So You can debate around it all you want, but my logic behind it is this was, for me, was an investment, close to 30, 40-year investment. And I hate the way the market is going as far as, how expensive tools are. But even back then we complained. And like I said, I could probably sell most of my stuff for 50 cents on the dollar. So, spend your money wisely, take advantage of the market. And, you need to buy tools that are going to last you a lifetime, because the warranty just may not be there if you buy these icons. If you buy these Snap-on, they've already proven it. They've been here for over 100 years. So I don't know. I'll let you guys dwell on that a little bit and think about it. Just give me a like, share, and subscribe. Drop any comments below that you might have, and I'll try to answer them. But like I said, that is just my take on this whole icon debate. And it wouldn't scare me to buy a set, especially because the way the market is, and it's hard to find skilled labor anymore. Most guys want to sit behind a computer and make big money, and government jobs and stuff like that. So a lot of them don't stay in this industry. So I don't blame people for buying cheap tools. But let me get off here before I start ranting some more. And like I said, like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate all you guys, and have a good night.